Welcome to Talking Crue, a unofficial Motley Crue podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Humphrey, where I talk all things in the world of Motley Crue. This is episode 3 this week. Too Fast for Love. In fact, I got the shirt on right now. Is what we're going to be talking about this week. This week in Motley news, Motley Crue and Def Leppard kicked off the stadium tour this past Saturday in Syracuse, New York, along with Alice Cooper. This is a small U.S. stadium run this time around. In fact, tonight, if you're watching this Friday when I post these out, they're in Fargo, North Dakota. So if you haven't got your tickets, get them. Plus, they got 3 more shows, so check out Motley.com or DefLeppard.com to see the tour dates. Nicky posted a few days ago on Twitter that he's going to start working on his new book, book number 5 for him, and I think that's awesome. I can't wait. So hurry up, Nicky. Also this month, Guitar World, John 5 and Nikki 6 are on the cover. There's a big interview with both Nikki and John 5. So it's really kind of cool. Plus, John 5 has another article written about him by himself. So, yeah, it's pretty much almost a Motley magazine by itself. So, get yours. I already got mine. I'll be reading mine this weekend. Also, John Corabi a couple of days ago posted on Instagram that he has a new solo album set for release. Plus, he has some show dates with his other band, the Dead Daisies. So if you see him coming to your town, whether he's doing solo or the Dead Daisies, check him out, support them. And that's it in Motley news. This week is episode 3, and it is Too Fast for Love, the album. I can't wait to talk about this. This is awesome. So here we go. So in this episode, let's just get this party started. Every band has a timeline, history, and facts. So Motley Crue is definitely no different. In fact, let's go. This is a little long, so bear with me. Okay, so it starts with the guy by the name of Frank Fanera. Frank is born in Idaho. His dad leaves him when he was really young. In fact, he has a young sister, baby sister, that just kind of disappears. Um, his mom would raise him some, and then she pushed him off to his grandparents' house, where Tom and Nona uh, pretty much raised him. Uh, but he would get pushed back and forth, and then as he got older, he moved in with his mom. His mom moved to Seattle, Washington. Frank was doing odd end jobs here and there until he raised enough money to go to Los Angeles, California, where he wanted to be a rock star. I mean, who wouldn't? So in 1979, he moves in with his aunt and uncle, who already live in LA, and he joins a band called Sister, and he has a friend, or makes a friend, named Lizzie Gray. Sister was founded by Blackie Lawless, who would later form the band Wasp, which is an awesome band, by the way. Now, also around this time, Frank is working at a liquor store, and in comes a guy by the name of Bob Deal. And although Bob has already changed his name to McMars, and they have a little small talk. Frank asked him if he's in a band, and Mick says, "Yeah, are you?" And he says, "Yeah." And then Mick says, "Well, who are you into?" And Frank says, "Kiss, Aerosmith, and Sweet." And Mick says, "Well, they suck." So if you want to see a real guitar player in a real band, come check us out. We're playing a couple of things down the street. So Frank closes up the shop. He goes down there to this club and he walks in, and Mick is playing guitar with a mic stand, and he just blows him away. Also around this time, Frank finds out that his dad actually lives in L.A. So he looks him up in the Yellow Pages, if you remember those, and he calls him on a payphone. And Frank is like, talks to his dad, and his dad basically says he doesn't have a son, and this and that, and they kind of get into a big fight. Frank slams the phone, and then right then and there, Frank decides he doesn't want anything to do with his dad, even his name, so he changes his name to Nicky Six. More on that in a little bit. Nicky and Lizzie decide they want to form their own band, so they leave the band Sister, and they form the band London. Now, after a while, London was touring the LA Strip, and they were making some noise, but as far as the record label was concerned, they weren't very interested. So the band broke up. So Nicky decided that he was going to make another band, more what he actually had in mind to begin with. So in 1980, Nicky comes across a band called Sweet 19. That's Suite 19. And he sees this young drummer that's giving it his all, really showmanship going off. And that man, his name is Tommy Lee Bass. So Nicky actually talks him out of his band to join his band. So he basically stole him. So now Nicky and Tommy, Tommy brings a lead guitarist / vocalist from Sweet 19 to join their band. Things ain't really working out, so they come across this. They look through the recycler, and they come across this ad that says "Loud, rude, and aggressive guitar player, call Mick." So they call him. He comes down for the audition, and according to Tommy Lee, he looks like Cousin It from the Addams Family. But he plugs in, and he just goes to town, and they just couldn't believe it, and they hire him right there, and they fire the other dude. Now they have a lead guitar player, so now they need a singer. So Tommy suggests a guy by the name of Vince Neil Wharton, who he knew in high school. He was in a bunch of garage bands. He could swoon the girls, and he could sing his butt off and get the crowd going. So they actually go check him out. Vince was in a band called Rock Candy at this point, and so they went down and see him, and sure enough, he's got the girls hooping and hollering, the crowd really energized, great stage persona, sings great. Nicky's like, this is our guy. So Tommy goes up to talk to him and says, hey, we want you to come down and check out our band audition for us. And Vince says, yeah, sure. Vince is a no-show. He no-shows them. So they're like sitting around waiting, hey, where's your friend? You know. So he bails on them, basically. And but luckily for Vince, he started finding out there was some tensions between his bandmates and Rock Candy. They actually wanted to do separate things, so Vince was kind of getting a little worried. Tommy Lee actually calls him back and says, hey dude, you didn't show up. And Vince was like, okay, well, I'll come now. So Vince comes down there, and if you've seen The Dirt, the movie, you know what I'm about to say. As soon as they start playing Live Wire, Nicky hands him the lyrics, and it's just magic from there. So Motley Crue was born January the 17th, 1981. So we got the band members now. Now they need a name. So Nicky Nicky came up with this idea of calling the band Christmas. Yeah, you heard me right, Christmas. Uh, he wanted that name to shock people, to provoke people, to draw attention to the name of the band. Luckily, the other three guys in the band weren't having it. So, Mick, who always kept a notebook of band names and song names around, said, well, what about Motley Crue? Now, how he came about this was Mick said that he and his band Wild Horse were at a club and a guy walked in and said, well, isn't this a motley looking crew? And Mick was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So he wrote it down. So now, these years later, he suggests it. Now, Mick wrote it totally different. Mick wrote Motley, so they kind of figured out the lettering. So now it's Motleycrue. And Vince was drinking some German beer, Lowenbrau, and he was like, these dots over the O and over the U, that's kind of cool. Let's do that. So they did that, and that's the logo they've had ever since. So now they got the band name, they got a logo. So now it's time to hire a manager. They hire a guy by the name of Alan Kaufman. Kaufman was a friend of or brother-in-law, I should say, of one of Mick's drivers. Mick would have a driver drive him around. So they signed him as their manager. The band started playing the LA Sunset Strip, where they were actually the hottest ticket in town. There is an episode of a show that I'm drawing a blank on, but I can remember Alan Kovac, who is the band's current manager, saying that there was one night he was driving down the Sunset Strip and there was a bunch of people standing outside in a line. He thought Elton John had came to town. They were all there to see Motley Crue. That's how hot they were at this point. Plus, their stage antics at this time were legendary. Uh, Vince sawing the head off of a mannequin with a chainsaw. Nicky came up with the idea of taking rubbing alcohol and putting it on his thigh-high boots, and Vince lighting him on fire, which is in the video Livewire. Yeah, just all kinds of crazy stuff. Plus, they recorded an album. They did 2 videos for like a promotional tool on local cable network. Take Me to the Top and Public Enemy #1. Plus, like I said, they recorded their album by themselves on their own record label, Too Fast for Love on Leather Records, which sold 20,000 copies. 20,000 copies. No radio, no major record label, just word of mouth. Plus, they toured Canada, what they called the Cruising in Canada tour. Yeah, they got so much attention that Elektra Records quickly snapped them up. Elektra Records, who is the home of Bad Company, The Cars, Queen, and Metallica. And that's part of the timeline. So like I said, that's a long timeline. So we're going to end it right there. So here's some info and facts on this album. Elektra Records brought in producer Roy Thomas Baker, who had produced the band Queen, which is one of Nicky's idols. The Cars, Journey, Yes, Foreigner, and Alice Cooper, another great name. Great. I'm trying to think. Influence. There you go. My mind just went totally blank. To mix it and produce it. So basically clean up the Leather Records version. Now the Leather Records version was released in 1981. It actually has 10 songs on it. And the track listing's way different. So song number 1 is Livewire. Song number 2 is Public Enemy #1. Song number 3 is Take Me to the Top. Song number 4 is Merry Go Round. Song number 5 is Piece of Your Action. Song number 6 is Starry Eyes. Song number 7 is Stick to Your Guns. Song number 8 is Come On and Dance. Song number 9 is the title track, Too Fast for Love. And song number 10 is On With the Show. So, not sure if it was a Roy uh, decision or if it was an Elektra Records decision, but they do cut out Stick to Your Guns and actually leave it off the album totally. Now, the electric version, it was re-released on August the 20th, 1982. They did one single and one video, and I just mentioned it a few seconds ago, Live Wire. The album has sold 1 million copies in the United States alone. So there's your facts. So now let's get to it. Let's go track by track on Too Fast for Love. And this is the Crucial Crue version, so I will talk about the extra songs, but not all of them. Okay, so track number 1 is Live Wire. Starts off with this vicious guitar riff from Mick Mars. Tommy kind of comes in. Then Vince says, I don't know how you spell that, but he says it, and then the song just kind of takes off. Great lyrics, catchy chorus, absolutely fantastic. It is so good. Then it kind of slows down towards the middle, and then kind of builds back up. It's kind of like a roller coaster song. The way it ends with this pause and start with Tommy hitting the drums or cowbell, it's awesome, fantastic. Song number 2 is Come On and Dance. Starts off with a Mick guitar riff. Then the band comes in. Great guitar playing by Mick. Great lyrics and chorus. Fantastic guitar solo by Mick on this song. Tommy on cowbell again. Absolutely great song. It's almost kind of got this funky kind of sound to it. It's kind of hard to describe on that. Song number 3 is Public Enemy number 1. Almost sung the song there. Starts off with this punk rock feel. Then Mick kind of solos over top of it. Then Vince starts singing. This song, again, it's so good. Catchy chorus. Almost a call of arms kind of song. Kind of inviting you in to sing along. Definitely a moving song. The gang backing vocals is awesome. Another great solo by Mick. There's my notes, sorry. Song number 4 is Merry Go Around. Starts off with this guitar playing, kind of eerie, kind of sounding, and Vince kind of sings kind of soft. It kind of builds up when the chorus comes in, then kind of back down. It's a good song. Mick's solo is actually really good in it. Song number 5 is Take Me to the Top. Tommy actually starts this one off with a drum fill that just kind of builds up, and then the band comes in. This song's fantastic. I really dig it. I love this song in the video, if you can catch the video on YouTube. Great lyrics, catchy chorus again. Fantastic song. It's so good. Song number 6 is Piece of Your Action. Starts off with the whole band building up. Vince starts with this almost kind of talking, singing, almost kind of seductive kind of singing. It sounds really good. Then he really sings as the song goes along. Fantastic lyrics, great chorus, great guitar playing by Mick, Nikki, and Tommy. There's kind of like a call and response towards the end of the song, which is actually really cool. I love that part. Song number 7 is Starry Eyes. Tommy starts this one with a great drum beat. Then the band kind of comes in. It's almost kind of a pop kind of song. The lyrics are great, catchy chorus. Love this song as well. Fantastic guitar solo by Mick. Song number 8 is the title track, Too Fast for Love. Starts with this great guitar riff by Mick, and then the band just kind of comes in. Vince starts singing. The lyrics are great. Sorry, something wrong with my camera there. The lyrics are great. Chorus is fantastic. the band's playing is awesome. Then towards the end, Nikki, Tommy, and Mick get the shine on this song, so it kind of stops, and then Nikki does like this little bass line, then it picks up, and then stops. Then Tommy does the drum fill, and then stops or starts, and then Mick does a little guitar solo, and then comes back. It's actually really cool. Song number 9, and this is how the original Electra version would end. On with the show. Starts off with an amazing guitar riff and starts singing about Frank Jr. Frankie died just the other night. Some say it was suicide, but we know how the story goes. I just told you how it went. And Nicky's writing on this song is so great. I mean, he wrote this song pretty much in third person, which is weird but cool at the same time. Absolutely fantastic lyrics, sing along chorus, love, 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 love this song, especially when they played it live. When I saw them play it live on the Red, White, and Crue and the Carnival of Sins tour that same year. It was awesome. So, like I said, we're doing the Crucial Crue version. So, on the Crucial Crue version, there is 5 extra songs. Toast of the Town Tonight, Too Fast for Love, the alternate intro, which actually sounds like it's going to be a slow ballad, and then it just kicks right in. Stick to Your Guns, and Merry Go Round. Now, I'm only going to talk about 3 of these. I'm not going to talk about Too Fast or Merry Go Round live, but I am going to talk about the other 3. Track number 10, Toast of the Town, starts off Tommy counting it in. Then the band starts. Absolutely fantastic song. This is a must hear. If you have never heard Toast of the Town, type it in. Do yourself a favor and listen to this song. The lyrics are fantastic, catchy chorus. Again, I love this song. It's so freaking good. Great solo by Mick. This song was actually covered by another band in the 80s, Pretty Boy Floyd. So there's a Pretty Boy Floyd shout there. On their album, Leather Boys with Electric Toys, they actually did a cover version of this. They absolutely nailed it. I like it. Yeah, check it out. Song number 11 is Tonight. Tonight is actually a song by the band The Raspberries. Nikki was really into them about this time, so Nikki wanted to record their version of it. Starts off with a great guitar riff. The song is great. The lyrics are great. The chorus is fantastic. Again, this is a great song. Don't skip on this one. Then we get to the last song that I'm going to talk about is Stick to Your Guns. Starts off with Tommy on a cowbell and Mick playing guitar. Then just kicks right in. Absolutely fantastic. It's so good. Fantastic lyrics, catchy chorus. If you haven't heard it, check it out. Stick to Your Guns. It actually has this thing that Mick's doing on guitar. Actually sounds like the Four Horsemen by Metallica. Kind of makes you wonder, don't it? But yeah, check it out. Then it has this break in it where Nicky, Mick, and Tommy almost plays like this jazz kind of thing. Really cool. So there's the album. So rate it 1 out of 10, 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Least favorite song is Merry Go Round. I just don't get that song. It just doesn't ring to me. Favorite song or songs is Live Wire, Public Enemy number 1, Take Me to the Top, Too Fast for Love, On with the Show, Toast of the Town, and Stick to Your Guns. Now, homework this week. You rate the record 1 out of 10. 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. What's your favorite song or songs? What's your least favorite song or songs? Next week is episode 4. Now, next week I'm going to talk about another thing that happened in the timeline. The US Festival, 1983. To me, it's an important part of the band's history, and I'll talk to you next week to figure out why. So, that's it for this week. I'll see you guys next Friday. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Join the Facebook page as well, Talking Crue. If you know anybody that's a Motley Crue fan, likes to talk about Motley Crue, hear about Motley Crue, send them this way, send them the link. Tell them go on Google, Firefox, YouTube, Facebook, type in Talking Crue, and everything will pop up. Like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. That helps out the podcast. And I'll see you guys next Friday. And you just took a ride on the wild side.